Hi everyone, this is Ms. Faina. Today we're going to be writing systems of equations from application problems. So I have two examples for us today. So it says, example 1, Alice spent $131 on shoes. Sandals X costs $15 a pair, and tennis shoes Y cost $28 a pair. If she bought a total of 7 pairs of shoes, how many pairs of each type did she buy? We're not going to so focus on solving it because we do know how to use the calculator, but I will show you just in case. But we're just more worried about writing the actual equations we need. So we're writing a systems, which means we need 2 or more equations. In this case, we need 2. Okay, so we're going to start off by identifying the variables. So if we look at the word problem again, it tells us that sandals are X and tennis shoes are Y. So we always want to identify those first. So I'm going to say X, and that's going to be my sandals, and Y is going to be my tennis shoes. So how many total pairs of shoes did she buy? It says right here she bought a total of 7 pairs of shoes. So if I have my sandals X plus my tennis shoes Y, she's going to have a total of 7. So the shoes and the sandals have to add up to be 7 total. Now, the next one, it looks like we're talking about the cost because it's using the $131, which is what this said right here on how much she spent. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put the price of the sandals next to the X and the price of the tennis shoes next to the Y. Okay, so the price of the sandals, it says the sandals cost $15 a pair. So I'm going to plug in a 15 right there. And then it says the tennis shoes cost $28 a pair. So the 28 is going to go in the circle. Okay, so what we're essentially looking for is how many of each pair she ended up buying. That's why it's being multiplied by the X or by the Y. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to use the calculator again. Just so you know, because sandals are X and tennis shoes are Y, when we get our answer in the calculator, it's going to be in the form of an ordered pair. Just know that the first one is going to represent the sandals and the second one is going to represent the tennis shoes. And again, this part is not necessary, but I do just want to show you for the sake of the video. So I'm going to go over to our TI Inspire app, new calculator. And remember, we just hit the toolbar, which is menu, algebra, solve systems of linear equations. We have 2 of them. Okay, so the first box, I'm going to type in the X plus Y for the total number of sandals or shoes, and it equaled 7. And then on the bottom box, I'm going to type in the 15 pairs of sandals plus, or sorry, the $15 per sandals plus the $28 for tennis shoes, which is going to equal the total amount of money she spent, which was $131. And when I plug that in, I get 5, 2. Okay, which means 5 sandals, 2 pairs of tennis shoes. Okay, you will be asked to solve this eventually, just not today, but again, this is just being extra. So she ended up buying 5 pairs of sandals, and 2 pairs of tennis shoes. And that's really as hard as this is going to get. Okay, so let's take a look at the second example. Marcella has a bag containing 34 nickels and quarters. The total value of these coins is $4.50. How many nickels and quarters does Marcella have in the bag? First off, how much is a nickel worth? Okay, it's worth 5 cents. How do I write that properly? Well, a nickel, let's write it out, okay, is 5 cents. So if I'm writing it as a decimal, it's going to be 0.05. Okay, and a quarter is 25 cents. So when I write that, it's going to be 0.25. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and identify the variables. For this case, I'm going to use N for nickels, and I'm going to use Q for quarters. When I go to use the calculator, I have to understand that this is going to be my X, this is going to be my Y. Okay, so keep that in mind. If I were to flip-flop and put quarters first and nickels second, then my X would be the quarters and my Y would be the nickels. But right now I'm having nickels go first. So let's talk about just how many total coins she has. Okay, so she just has a total of 34 nickels and quarters. So if I have my nickels plus my quarters, I just have 34 coins total. Okay, now the next one can be talked about the total amount price-wise. So price-wise, she has $4.50. Okay, so I'm going to take my nickels and how much a nickel's worth, 0.05 times my nickels, plus how much a quarter's worth, 0.25 times my quarters, and it's going to equal the price of $4.50. Okay, so again, I can type this into my calculator, but when I do this, I have to understand that the N is going to change to an X, the Q is going to change to a Y. Again, the N is going to be an X, the Q is going to be the Y for the sake of the calculator. Okay, so if you wanted to write it as X plus Y equals 34 and 0.05X plus 0.25Y equals 450, you could have done that as well. So I'm going to go back to the calculator. Again, I just go to the toolbar, and since I'm on the app, it's just still at the same one. So again, I had X plus Y equals, and I think it was 34. There we go. I have a bad memory. Okay, oh, it doesn't look like I typed that in right. So X plus Y equals 34. Okay, the bottom one, I have 0.05 X plus 0.25 Y equals the $4.50 total she has. Again, just double checking. Okay, and when I hit that enter, okay, it tells me that she will have 20 nickels and 14 quarters. So she will have 20 nickels and 14 quarters. And again, for the sake of this video, that's why I'm solving, but for the day, you're just writing the equation. So what you're looking for is this answer right here and this answer right here. Just writing the equations. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask your teacher for help. Other than that, have a great day, Rangers.